Okay. Hi, you guys. I'm new to this, so we're gonna do a cooking show. Well, I'm gonna do it. Um, Chrissy, I don't know what else you guys need to know. I'm gonna try something new today, which is stuffed shells. Never did that before, so going over the head with this one. Trust me. So let's get started. These are the ingredients. This chicken is because we're having fried chicken on the side, so that's this. But I'm going to use the Italian since stuffed shells is meant to be Italian. And then we have the German sauce and also this. So we're going to go off the limb with this one. The first thing we're going to do is dice. Sorry, guys, I was supposed to already have my strainer out so I can rinse the dishes off. I do the onions first, hard part, get it over with. You can also use minced onions or whatever, but it just really depends. If you don't really like onions, but you just want that little bit of flavor in them, you can just use minced onions. If you don't know what minced onions is, those are the dried onions that you get like when you pick out your seasoning, and you can get them for wherever. So, and then we're just gonna break the skin off of this, like so. Nice round onion. Put it in our drainer to be washed. Okay. Now there's some cross-contamination going on in this video since I'm just cooking for myself. So, um, for the beginners on cooking, I'll probably be a great teacher. I love cooking. I've been taking cooking since I was 14. So when you cut a bell pepper, you can either cut around here or you can go straight down in the middle. Depending on if you want diced bell pepper, then I'll just go straight down the middle. But if you want like if you're doing stuffed bell peppers or like you want more slicey bell peppers, a lot of people still cut down the middle too, but I wouldn't because when you want sliced bell peppers, you see these lines, they're already ready for the slice. So why would you do extra? More work. So we're just gonna cut down the middle. You see those? What I normally do is I take my knife since it's already down the middle and just do my circle to cut all the seeds and whatnot. And depending on how much you're going to use, I'm trying to figure out now. I'm doing calculations in my head. So I think this should be enough. I think that should be enough. So I'm going to take my leftover and I'm going to place it in here, container, and push that to the side. Okay, now here we have mushrooms. I know a lot of people don't like mushrooms for whatever reason, but I've grown fond to mushrooms within the last couple of days. So, sorry, last couple of weeks. We're going to unwrap the mushrooms. And what we're going to do right now is just throw the mushrooms in here as such. I think I'm going to show it to you so you can see about how much I used. But like I said, all of it really just depends on your flavor of how much you like mushrooms. So, this is what we have. We have this where we just cut up the onion and the mushrooms, okay? So I'm going to go rinse it off. And then we'll be back to cut them. Okay, so now dealing with this. We're going to take this out. We're going to put it right there. I told you it's going to be cross-contamination, but it'll be okay. And we're going to put our chopped stuff in here set, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is the onions, so we can get that over with. As you see, when I cut the onions and peel it, I cut a what's gonna call it right there. So when you dice, you just squeeze that whole together right there, as such. Okay. And you want to turn it around. Now I want this just to be clear. No water eyes, right? It's a myth on onions that you cannot cut them without getting watery eyes. Okay, so that's it. We use about a half an onion. And then what I'm going to do, because these are big chunks, nobody wants to bite into a big chunk of onions, right? So we're just going to go over and cut as such. But we don't want to cut, I mind you that we don't want to cut them too small, because if you cut onions too small and you saute them, when you saute onions, have to be honest, some of the flavor, majority of the flavor goes out when you saute onions. That's why, like, when you order a sandwich or something that's supposed to have onions on it, if they do not serve them raw, they'll give you a buckload of onions on those, because when they saute them, the flavor gets out. So once again, onions cut, no watery eyes. Look, onion hands, no watery eyes. Okay. You want to make sure you got that around. So then we're going to cut this. And I'm cutting them on the same board because they're going to get cooked in the same pot. So we're going to go down the middle. Remember what I told you about those lines? Easy. And then we got a little white part here. You know, when you cut it open, you probably will still have a little bit of white part that was supposed to get cut out. So we can just go ahead and cut that out so it can be all green. You can tell these are fresh. One of them just fell on the thing. These are fresh. Real fresh. And also, you don't want to cut them too small, because it's like I said with the onions, you don't want to cut them too small because they are getting sauteed and you still want some of that flavor in them. But then you don't want to have them big, so, you know, because of the chunks. You don't want to bite, hey, I just tasted a chunk of onion, or I just bit into a chunk of bell pepper. I worked in many fast food restaurants and also many restaurants, period, to know that you would get a nice customer complaint, and that's a free meal for the customer, you know. So we're just going to keep on cutting them. I've always wanted to know, like, always wanted to make stuffed shells, but pasta is like a very hard, you know, thing to season. Because it really don't matter how much seasoning you put on pasta, you know, it still tastes bland to me. Unless you're doing like a spaghetti. And of course, you're soaking the spaghetti in the, so, oh yeah, you're soaking the spaghetti in the, I can't think right now. You're soaking the spaghetti in the spaghetti sauce. Yes, I know I'm cutting this wrong. I know. The proper way to cut, let me move this over so you can see. The proper way to cut would be to, see, slant. That would be the proper way to cut. But when you're cutting fast, like me, you can do it like this. So, yeah. Yeah, excuse me. I'm not used to this kind of stuff, so. I just like cooking. I've been in this cooking business for a long time. I love cooking, especially at my mother's house. I'll just cook something knowing I'm not hungry, but I'll just cook it anyway just because I like cooking. So, I think the next thing I just tried to make chili. I would like to make stuff like with a different taste to it, because I don't know if like my problem with going over people's houses eating their food is because some people cook with way too much salt. I came up in a household where my mother took salt out of our diet at a pretty young age, and eventually I got accustomed to it. So I'm not saying I don't cook with salt. I cook with salt and things like that, but I don't cook with as much as people use because I don't, everything that you have comes with already its automatic season on it. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense to you. Even if natural herbs such as this automatically seasoned. It comes automatically seasoned already. It has its natural herb to it. So you have to be careful adding spices and things like that. Because some stuff has its own natural. Like cucumber. A cucumber tastes like soup. So would you sit here and add sage or seasoned salt? Or salt at that matter? No. And the thing about cooking is you can incorporate whatever you want to. Cooking is an art. You just have to make sure the tastes add up. Because a lot of people say they can cook, but a lot of people say they can cook. But like I said, majority of the people cook real salty. Now with these things, you guys see what I'm doing. I'm just cutting them in half to small pieces. One person who I would love to have critique my food is Gordon Ramsay. He is hardcore, but he just, you know what I'm saying, he helps. He can tell you where you went wrong. It really just depends. And he's not even really hardcore. It really just depends on who's he's doing it for and how their attitude is. Because if he try to tell you that something is wrong, you just have to take it and run with it, He's the master chef. Until I get in that business, then I'm going to be the master chef. When I get all the way up there. Now, with this, if you want to take the easy way out, um, you could always buy pasta sauce that already has like mushrooms and stuff in it. But a key to a dish, every dish, is fresh ingredients. A key to every dish is fresh ingredients. So. And then I believe if Gordon Ramsay was here, he would say, okay, good job, but fix your knife structure. And also, don't over saute. You can over saute your vegetables. I hope you guys know that, because then the vegetables will be all dry and things like that. Like I said, with this recipe, you can use how many mushrooms you like. I love mushrooms, so I'm going pretty heavy on them, as you see. You guys, just this bowl period smells. It smells really good with mushrooms and it smells really good. And another key is to clean up after yourself. Wash your hands frequently. But like I said, you're going to see some cross-contamination here because I'm cooking in my own home. So, let's take you over here by the stove. Let's get you set up here. You guys won't be able to see everything that's going on unless I put you down here. Okay, so you guys just won't be able to see me. So excuse my ghetto curtains, guys. So here I have a pan. Now, if I'm just sauteing vegetables, I will use this, but I'm not. For my dish, I wanted to make it actually Italian, so I got some Italian meat, hot Italian sausage. Then I got mild Italian smokehouse sausages. So we're going to incorporate those. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn our heat on 7 just to get a little bit high. We're going to pour enough grease just to coat the bottom of the skillet. Okay, guys, so I have a funny story, right? So when I was little, just enough grease to coat the bottom of the skillet, see? So when I was little, right, I was cooking, didn't know what I was doing. So I said, oh, we're going to put the meat in first and then we're going to throw the vegetables in too. So I said, oh, okay, well, the heat is hot. Rips it off the knife. I said, the heat is hot. I didn't know what I was doing, so I said, the heat is hot or whatever. So I said, well, I didn't throw the grease in until I actually got, I didn't throw the grease in until I know I'm stuttering because I'm nervous, yeah. I didn't throw the grease in until the skillet was actually popping up, frying. And when I threw the grease in, OMG, you guys. OMG. That was like crazy. That was like so crazy. So with this batter, excuse me, with this batter, I want to say I want to at least reach 4 to 5. This much smells good. I want to at least reach 4 to 5 of the stuffed shells. You can use ground beef, chicken, whatever. You can use any kind of thing that you want, but I had a taste for spaghetti, so. And I want to make a note, we probably won't use all these since we already have a pound of hot sauce. Sorry, that shit scared me. I got anxiety. I got anxiety, y'all. That shit scared me out of me. Okay, so I'm gonna cut these on the plate real quick. So I want you guys to watch this sizzle up and get ready. we're probably just going to use 3 of these sausages. So I'm going to keep on cutting these up real quick, guys. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so like I know in some cooking shows you'll see them put the vegetables in first, but my personal belief is that's how the food gets over sauteed. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna find something stronger for one. Okay. So while this is browning, what we're gonna do is grab another pot. We're gonna put this right here on this side so that we can start boiling our thing. We're gonna put a tad bit of salt. We're gonna wait till that becomes a boil so we can drop 4 to 5 shells in there. Needless to say, this shit doesn't brown like ground beef. I'm sorry, I just wanted to turn that exhaust fan on for a second that I was smoking. You see me putting pressure on this meat because it's harder. So when the meat turns it's a little bit more brown and we're actually going to throw our vegetables in so our vegetables can get a fair time to cook as well. This stuff is exercising, guys. Whew. Okay, so now you see what it looks like right here. And this is with the ground Italian beef and the sausages mixed in. So what we're going to do is incorporate our vegetables. Remember, we chopped up the onions, the green peppers, and the mushrooms. We're going to go ahead and incorporate those so they can get a fair chance of cooking as well. So they can get, sorry guys, we got to take a look at the shit. So they can get a fair chance in cooking. Let's turn you guys around just a little bit more so you guys can see it. And guys, this mix, it smells tremendous. This is going to be real good with the shells. Now we're going to add just a little bit more oil, and we're going to cover this up so all our meat can be done. I'm going to turn it a little bit higher. Okay. Then we're going to take you over here with our jumbo shells. Now, it took me a minute to find some of these, which is true. They're not as big as I thought they were. Well, see? When you're a chef, you run into difficulties. These shells are not as big as I thought they were. You run into difficulties. So, I'm going to drop one in here for now to see how that turns out. You guys stay tuned in.